Hello, Renee Flamond here. You guys, I wanted to discuss this because there are so many of us, and I'm going to say us because I went through this as well, and there are so many of us that feel we did something. We could have done something differently, and it's our fault that the narcissist discarded us, right? That it's our fault. But they don't discard us for the reasons that you think. They don't discard us because you did something wrong. You may have acted human. You may have been inquisitive. You may have had something to say about their behavior, but would you really have wanted to do that differently? Because yes, the narcissist may very well land with someone who has zero to say, doesn't make waves, doesn't set parameters, accept what she's given. I knew a couple, they were together their whole lives until his death, which was, they were older. They had adult children, they had grandchildren. He was the worst you could ever possibly fathom. This was back in Rhode Island, this couple I knew. He mistreated her the whole time they were together. But guess what? She didn't open her mouth. She just remained, and they were together. And if she had caused enough waves, and I'm not saying they didn't maybe argue behind closed doors or whatever, but you can be guaranteed if the partner causes and makes enough waves, the narcissist will leave. They don't want parameters. They don't want to be questioned. They don't want to answer a darn thing. Remember, I know I'm all over the place. I'm going to back up in a second and tell you what I mean. They are entitled to behave any way they want. In their minds, that is how they feel. So there isn't something you did or shouldn't have done or could have done better or should have done better, or maybe you were too disagreeable, you're thinking, or upset or difficult. There's a piece of hair on me. It wasn't you at all. All of these things are true, and none of them are true. And what I mean by that is they're true in that, sure, yes, you were disagreeable when you found out that he was betraying you. Yes, you were upset a lot at his continued torment that never stopped. Yes, you were difficult in that you couldn't just stop talking about it and trying to get answers and trying to have a conversation with this person. Sure. But no, no, and no. Because none of it and none of these truths are why he or she, again, my pronouns he, you use whatever one you want, discarded you. None of them. There isn't anything you did or could have done more. There isn't an ounce you should have done instead of being disagreeable, upset, or difficult. If you had not been, he may not have discarded you, but his behavior wouldn't have changed. He'd still be doing what he was doing to make you disagreeable, upset, or difficult. In your mind. I'm not calling you difficult. You have every right to speak up for yourself. But he'd still be doing all that. It would have just been that you chose to stay silent instead of arguing, fighting, screaming, and such. Let me back up. When they discard, it is because they know you have now seen them. Even if you ever learned to live with whatever he's done, he can't live with it. Not guilt-wise, not regret that he hurt you wise, not that way, but he knows you've now seen him. I made videos before about once their mask drops. Well, that's what this is. Once they know that you see who they really are, they're in a state of flux. They have to have their person look up to them. revere them, worship them. The more the better. The deeper their worship, the better for their ego. Well, once you see, even if you stay with them and you're both trying to work things out, there's no way you can or will ever see them the same way again. That is why they discard you finally. You're on to them and they know it. You're on to them and they know it. That's why they discard you. They can't handle being with someone who sees them, knows the scoop, has the inside skinny, whatever verbiage you put towards it. With someone new, the narcissist can manipulate his or her image to be whatever they want to sell this new person. And this could be, it's not just a partner, right? You've seen narcissists in your life probably. They move on to a new group of friends, a whole new set of people that can listen to their stories. People catch on, though. So even if you see many times narcissists, they change out friends and they smell the malarkey eventually, I think. But, I mean, the bull poop that they dish out is so obvious that I think it's impossible to not see the malarkey eventually. So, when that happens, the narcissist has to move on to new people, new ears for their stories. A new attempt at lie XYZ. Well, the last person caught on because maybe I said this. This time I'm going to present it this way. I'll make these people believe me. Since that person figured it out. They can tell their stories. They can reinvent themselves, right? To be whatever they can sell that they are, that they want to be, right? They can convince anybody. If it's a new person, you know the scoop. You're on to them. They can't be with you. No matter what they're telling you, they're trying to love bomb you back, hoover you back, all this. They know that you will never again see them the same way. They know it. And you know, the person who lands with a narcissist, meaning isn't discarded, is the person who puts up with the most. So you might say, well, the person who wins loses. To me, that's what that means. The person who wins the narcissist loses because they're putting up with the most. They're sweeping under the rug. They're not asking too many questions. They're not presenting much challenge in the face of being devalued. How freaking sad is that? You did nothing wrong to be discarded. Zero did you do. Actually showing your strength and standing up for yourself and asking questions and standing in your own worth and valuing it enough to fight for yourself, that makes you too worthy for the narcissist. Think it through. Think that through. They just realized that it was going to be impossible to get you back to the place of being glossy-eyed for them, right? Those glasses have come off. Those rose-colored glasses have come off. And they know it, and you know it, and they know you know it. They need the glossy-eyed audience. And they're on to you, that you're on to them, and they simply cannot have that. My narcissist used to say to me right out, the biggest thing that upset him, the biggest thing that upset him was, you'll just never look at me the same way again. The way you used to look at me, you'll never look at me the same way again. I can see it. You'll never look at me the same way again. Please don't stop loving me. Please don't stop loving me. Please don't stop loving me. I want the way you loved me before. That was never, ever going to be again. And I've talked a lot about how it was over a year post-breakup that we had some back and forth and whatever. I wasn't all trying to be I love you and all of that. He was coming through here, like I said, over a year, probably every month, phone calls in between, love bombing in between, hoovering in between. I told him right out, you will never again be part of my life in that way. But he kept trying. He wanted to still come back. He didn't want to come back. He wanted me to say he could come back. Oh, yeah, okay, you're my boyfriend again. Boom. What do you think he would have done? Breaking it off. He wanted to be the one to discard me. I never gave it to him. Never gave it to him. Because even though I would entertain the company of him, I never was like, I love you too, let's get back together. And never. Never. So he lost his opportunity. He didn't discard me, ever. I discarded him many times. The fact that I said many times kills me because I wish I got it right the first time. But I appreciate my journey, as I always say. But they didn't discard you because you did something wrong. I cannot drive that home enough. I hear women say it. Oh, but if I just kept my mouth shut, if I just didn't present a challenge, if I just didn't fight with him, I got him mad, he left the house, what now? Why did you get him mad? What did he do? Why don't we concentrate on that? What did they do to you to make you be boisterous and have something to say and stand your ground and stand toe-to-toe with them? What did they do? There was a reason. You don't just walk around doing that. And if they want to go find, it would be like a conformist, somebody who doesn't say a word. If they land, I feel bad for the conformist who lands with a narcissist and doesn't say anything. But they say ignorance is bliss. Maybe they'll find someone that will actually believe that they're being honest and true. Maybe ignorance in that regard is bliss for that person. Maybe they know and they just don't. I think the couple that I referred to from Rhode Island, the older couple, I think she knew everything. Everybody knew. How does she not know? Of course she knew. She ignored it. She ignored it. So many people might have said about her, well, she's being a fool. Was she being a fool? Maybe she was living the exact life she wanted. They had adult children together. They had grandchildren together. Very, very wealthy family. Very wealthy family. So he misvalued her, devalued her the whole time. Had a mistress about town that we saw. We people knew. I mean, Rhode Island's this big. Word travels. But guess what? She lived in the big house. She belonged to the country club. She was the wife. Maybe that's what she wanted. Maybe she knew everything and didn't care. So, she wins, the narcissist. She wins being with him till his death. She wins. She didn't want to disrupt her life, probably. I didn't know her that well personally. I never spoke to her about this subject matter. But when you get someone like that, what would have been the alternative? Maybe it, whether she was ignorant to his behavior or not, like I said, don't know. I never discussed it with her. But say she was not ignorant. Say she knew what was happening. She made a choice. She made a choice. And if she had made his life a living, hell, then I bet he would have left her and gone with the other person who was happy to just be there for him. And you know what I mean? So you got to think that through. You got to think that through. Would you have wanted to be with the person in perpetuity? Would you have wanted to be the doormat again and again and again, year in, year out, till his death? Is that what you wanted? Probably not. I hope you're saying, heck no, Renee, of course I didn't want that. So then the fact that they may have discarded you before you discarded them, they did you a favor. And it's not because you did anything wrong. My God, no. They can't handle being seen. The narcissist I had in my life, who's no longer in my life, not the partner one, the other one I've referred to sometimes, and I've known many, several, I see them now, and I can see and witness and understand their behavior more. They don't want me around, and they're not in my life anyway, but there was some crossover. They limited the time that I would have with any new people in their life. Well, why do you think that is? Not that I'm going to sit there and badmouth someone in their own home or in their company. I'm not the person to do that. But even just having me in the company of new people, that narcissist may have told a story, may have been selling themselves in a certain way. I come along, I've known them forever, and I can debunk 12 things in 5 minutes innocently, not knowing what the current lie is being told. A narcissist knows that. They recognize that. They can't have someone around messing up their new story, their new narrative that they've invented for themselves. They reinvent themselves all the time, whoever they want to be. And they'll just pretend to be that person. They'll pretend to have graduated college from a certain year, for a certain major, a certain school, if they think the crowd dictates that that's what they would want from that person. They'll dictate, oh yeah, I do that too. I speak languages. I speak 5 languages. I'm a linguist. I heard a narcissist, the narcissist say this once. Linguist. No, you don't. You don't speak any other than English. Big lies. So somebody being around, you could debunk their new story in 2 seconds flat. And you didn't even mean to, not even maliciously. So they're going to limit your presence in front of new people that they're, luring in with their new stories. The narcissist can't have you around once you see them. They want to be king. They want to be the person or queen. They want to be the top dog in your eyes. And if they are no longer the top dog in your eyes, the relationship's either going to go on, like I said, because they know that they're not top dog. They might know you caught on, but if you don't let them know verbally and you don't tell them, and they can ignore that you might know. And that's how I think that couple made it through. I don't think that person, the one who ended up, I don't think he thought his wife never knew. Everyone knew. But maybe she didn't put up a fuss, so that was fine for him. She kept the home together. She raised the kids. It was a nice square picture for the world to see. And maybe that's what they both valued, and they made a choice that they're just going to stay together. And she didn't give him a lot of grief, and she didn't ask a lot of questions, maybe. But once you are down in their eyes, and financially it was a nice life provided, so maybe that person felt like a king in that regard. Well, I'm giving her all that. That would never do for me. I don't care what you give me. There's no way on God's green earth any treatment that's less than what I think I'm worth is worth any money at all on the planet. So that's not where I come from, but some people do. And they might like a nice life, and they might like a cushy life, and they're already married, and they already have these kids, and I'll just remain quiet. Now, if you think, well, then I wish I remained quiet because I wish he were still here. If that's where you are, I challenge you to relook at that. Because what you stand for and what your worth is important also. And you can't just wish that you never said anything so that they didn't discard you. What you want to wish for now is, as you go forward, you continue to have that strength. You continue to maintain that strength. So should you ever encounter another person like that, you'll be able to say, like I have several times since my narcissist, I've tried to go out there, I've told you that before, and I'll say right out, I don't like that. What did you mean by that? Oh, well, I meant, and I'll challenge till the day is long. And the day you find someone that's honest and true, they'll say, well, I meant it. Oh, I understand now. Oh, okay. It'll be a functioning conversation. It won't have red flags popping up. It won't have lies inherent. You can tell if somebody is BSing you. Well, maybe not in the beginning with a narcissist because of the love bombing. But I implore upon you, please don't take that into your heart and think that you did anything wrong if they discarded you. Please shed that immediately because you did nothing. I just wanted to mention it. Please go ahead and hit sub, like, and share, and I'll see you next time.